I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? No problem at all. It's really my pleasure. I appreciate it. Appreciate you inviting me. Sure. My name's Sam Spade. I'm the lead singer and the bass player of the Midnight Devils out of Omaha, Nebraska, and Chicago, Illinois. I didn't grow up in Chicago. I grew up in Nebraska. So our drummers, we're split over three different cities. Yeah. I grew up in a smaller town in Nebraska, and I played football. I did sports, and one year I decided that I was going to grow my hair out, and it was the biggest controversy in the family. Is still is, and I had just decided that I wanted to kind of not be an athlete so much as be in a rock and roll band. And it took me a long time to get to that spot, but we're kind of there. No, it was the music, definitely. I was 18, I remember. Right, not 18. I was 13, probably 8th grade. Is really when it happened. I heard Kiss, Detroit Rock City. Like, I went to a private school, so this dude brought in Kiss Detroit Rock City, played it, and it like blew my mind. And that was the moment I was like, this is what I want to do. I had my parents give me a guitar and everything, and kind of build upon that idea as like that dream. And in that instant, hearing those songs, I became this huge Kiss fan, and really rock and roll music had just kind of like creeped in, and it became my entire world. Oh yeah. Yep. I was telling somebody, like, we would go, it was right around the time that they were having in like 96 these Kiss conventions or whatever. And so I would get dressed up and do my makeup and pay myself up and go to this Kiss convention. There I look completely normal. After we left that, we would go to this dance club to try and meet chicks. Of course, not one chick would talk to me when I had full Kiss makeup, Not one. Yeah, that's exactly it. There's not a lot of glam rock dudes rolling around in Nebraska. Yeah, I got the guitar at 16. Took my parents like paid for lessons, the whole thing, and joined my first band when I was 18. And we ended up playing guitar still. We ended up touring all over the country, like terrible punk rock music, but it worked. It was cool because it was like for the kids, and we were wild and we were crazy, and it was really you learn exactly what to do and how to make touring work. I played in a couple different punk rock bands, and then when I was 20, my buddy took me to the show of this 80s hair metal tribute band. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, we were like stage managing them. So we were doing all the roadie stuff. And my buddy got fired, and they asked me to join. I was like, cool. So here I am stage managing, changing out guitars, doing all this with batteries and costumes. It was kind of ridiculous. And one day the bass player left, and he knew I could play guitar. He's like, will you learn all the bass parts? I gotta do this thing. You gotta fill in for me. And our guitar player right now, Sniper, goes, you know what? You're not going to be his fill-in. You're going to take his place. This is what's going to happen. So I learned all the bass lines to a whole set in a month. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm a bass player now. I guess we got to start buying some Thunderbirds and make this look really cool. No, we hadn't met. We met through the '80s hair metal band, and I wasn't even in it. He came in, and I was his stage tech for a while before I became a full-fledged member. And we basically became best friends the very first night that we met. We were like, oh, we knew there was something there, and we've been hanging out now for, I don't know, 10 years almost. This is a good one too. Jimmy, I had known. He's kind of like a staple in the glam rock community. He's very outspoken. He's another one that just loves rock and roll music so much. And we met on Facebook, and one night we were playing down in Rocklahoma. So the 80s hair band was playing. We had this giant tour bus. Jimmy's band rolls up. He was in Prophets of Addiction at the time with Leslie Sanders. He rolls into our tour bus with a joint that's like this long, like kicks the door open. He's like, "Where's Sam?" And that's how we met. And it was like, I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. I like the way this guy handles himself. And we went out. We split after the show, like went our separate ways. And Sniper and I booked a tour, another Rocklahoma tour with a different drummer. He lasted 4 days. On the fourth day, he played a show in Kansas City. He walked off the stage, and he never came back. Never came back. I had no idea where he went. And we called up Jimmy. He's like, yeah, I'll do the rest of the tour. Just come and get me in Chicago. So we drove all the way, like 24-hour round trip, picked him up, and continued the tour back down to Oklahoma. Yeah. It took shape when we were in the hair metal band. They had stopped booking so many shows. Somebody made a decision, we're going to not book as many shows, and that didn't really sit well with us. With Sniper and I, we were just like, man, we're road dogs. This is what we do. We don't want to be sitting home on a Friday or Saturday night. So we started as a 2-piece acoustic act, playing acoustic covers with our hair teased up and lipstick on in small towns, tiny towns. And sometimes it worked. Sometimes they would fucking run us out of the town because they thought we're gay or whatever. And it was a hard fought battle. And we decided we needed to, and I was like, we should call it The Midnight Devils. We already had an album out called Midnight Devils. Let's just take like the Rolling Stones, The Clash, The Who. I've always wanted to be in a band like that. Just put the in front of it. And that's how the idea came out. Yes. Yep. It has been absolutely, it's been one hell of a ride. It's been awesome. I can't, we've done stuff that I never thought possible, and that I don't take for granted at all. We've worked our asses off. Basically, when we got Jimmy in the band, we were already on a tour. And so we just kept doing these kind of Midwest tours, and building an audience, learning how to be in a band together, put out our own album in 2018, the Something Bigger record, self-financed, self-produced, everything like that. And we were like, Jimmy comes up, he's like, look, guys, we got to, take this thing to the next level. What we can do is change our direction, our path, and start doing tours out to the coast, to LA, to New York. And they may be shitty punk rock tours. We're not going to make any money. They're going to be, sleeping on the bus, on the van floor, whatever. But this is going to change our trajectory. And he was right, and it did. Just even the to tell people, hey, we've traveled, all over coast to coast with the Midnight Devils within 2 years is unheard of. And I really think that has pushed us in the direction that we want to go. Yeah. Yep. A lot of the time. I mean, that's the thing is you probably talk to a ton of guys in bands that are like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if is anybody going to dig this. Like, we are really busting our ass, driving no money, everything. You basically invest everything in this. You lose all your relationships. Just is the sacrifice that you have to make. And I think the guys in our band are willing to make that. They've proven it, over and over, that we just don't want to be a Midwest band. We don't want to be a band from Omaha or from Chicago. We want to be a national touring act. And that's exactly like when I feel the hardships, like, would you go, just keep pushing, because if it was easy, you know, everybody would do it. And I know that nobody's going to give us anything for free. We're going to have to work our ass off just to get that one little inch. We'll have to do 1,000 times more work than necessary, but it's worked. And from where we were, Jimmy and I were just talking, like, we were up in Chicago doing our new record, and he's like, did you ever think 16-year-old Sam would be talking to the guy that produced the Kiss Revenge record and hanging out with Chips Enough, like, at his house? And I go, no, man, I never would have thought. I really wouldn't have. Yeah. And I say that now until we're broke down on the side of the road, you know? Good. Oh, yeah. No, I love it. I love traveling, and we're really good through the Midnight Devils. We've seen the entire country, you know, almost, and we've seen amazing landmarks and stuff like that. I met people from all over, not just here in the States, but from England and everywhere. It's been really cool. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we played is a place outside of Topeka, and Topeka, Kansas, which is where the band Kansas is from. You know, it's pretty close to Omaha. We go down there and play every now and again. We hooked up with this bar that was more like a compound. It was like a bar, like 5 different bars all set up on this compound. I can't remember why they had a compound like this, but we booked in a show. It went really well. They invited us back. We show back up, and we pull the bus in, and the owner, like, comes out. And you imagine this guy on a farm in Kansas. He's already wasted. He's like, yeah, it's good to see you guys. Let me get you guys paid real fast. And he goes and he starts digging up this hole in the ground, you know, to get the money out of from the hole. He's like, hold my drink. I got to get this. I got to get your money. And he pulls it up. He's like, here's your money. Let's have a great show tonight. And like 10 people showed up to this huge thing. And I was like, well, fuck, we just got to do our set anyways. Doesn't matter. And we did it. The last song, some guy comes wandering onto the compound. I guess like security must have been like drunk too. And he wasn't welcome. So the owner pulls out like a gun and starts firing during our last set. And he's like, he's screaming, get behind your bus, take cover. We don't even have time to like shut our amps off. We had to take our guitars off and ran behind our bus while they like shoot it out. We're like, well, we're not going to play here again. I think that's a lesson learned. We tell everybody we're a glam rock band. We grew up listening to, well, I did. It was like Kiss and the New York Dolls, and it was like early Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith. These rock and roll bands were not necessarily a 70s band or an 80s band or a hair metal band. We don't really fall under any of those categories. You can say it like that, and I don't take offense to it, but that's not really what we are. We kind of mix this. We kind of mix the New York Dolls with this boogie woogie element of like Elvis and Jerry Lee. Now Jimmy will say like he doesn't like Elvis or Jerry Lee Lewis. He's like the Ramones. That's his style. He loves the Ramones and just this trashy punk rock. And it's this cool mix. Now the thing that makes us unique is that we have a guitar player that's just absolutely incredible. He's like this stunning Eddie Van Halen, you know, tap, 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 just destroys. And he's really the musical leader of this band, Sniper. And he's kind of the one that really has brought us together and made us a very tight unit. It's just expected. We don't rehearse that much because we live far away. And so it's like you need to know your songs. If you don't know the songs, you're gonna get punched in the face. That's really how he is, and I appreciate it. And it's made me such a better musician and overall entertainer, being able to bring it every night. And the new album, or the Something Bigger record, is kind of that mix between boogie woogie and this. We just call it like this party rock and roll, because that's really what it is. At the basic, is that we're three guys that want to come out, get dressed up, and we want the crowd to look good, and we want everybody to be out there drinking and dancing their ass off and getting high, and then we'll go to the party after the show, and we'll party there all night. That's really what we do. Uh-huh. Thank you. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And that's what I'm saying. Like he's just really with the one that it's even though I'm the lead singer and I'm leading the band, he's the guy off to the side that I'm taking my cues from, and I'm watching, and he knows what's going on no matter what else is happening in the entire stage of the crowd. He's got it together. Right. No, I love doing it. I absolutely love it. I think it's really cool. Like I was doing uh, interviews earlier, not interviews, but like videos earlier today. And I go, why am I doing this, man? I'm tired. And then the camera starts rolling. I'm like, I love doing this. This is so good. I had never done a record by myself before. So like, I didn't even know where to start. We were just like, okay, we know we can't tour without songs. That's really where it starts. Okay, we know we can't tour without songs. We got originals, cool. Let's write, 5 or 6 more originals. Let's go to, we got a buddy in Omaha, Greg Turner, produced kind of the first record. He's got a studio just opening up. He'll give us a really good price, and we can go there and just iron the kinks out, see if we can even possibly do this. And we did it. We did it all, and it was very painless. Like, it wasn't as tough as I thought. It was the learning curve of what to do and what not to do. You know, how long is this going to take? How long do we need it to take? How much money do we want to spend? And how are we going to even record? That was cool, because I never recorded lead vocals before. It was the very first time. So you just kind of learn that stuff. What do you like? How do you like this process? Once the album was done, we're like, well, who does artwork? How do you even get that done? I had no idea. I had to find a graphic artist who went through album covers that weren't good. Like, just wait, and then finally, like, now we're like on this thing where you're like, okay, I know exactly what I need to do for the most part to get a record out. No, because I didn't want it to appear like I didn't know. So I would hit up all of my contacts and everybody I knew, and that's exactly what you have to do. Jimmy was a huge help. He'd put out albums before, so he'd kind of point me in the right direction, and I'd find out which way was the right way for us. Yeah. Yeah, for the first record, we had songs written, and Sniper and I work really, really well together, where we can kind of take the brunt of the songwriting and be like, sequester ourselves in his basement and bang these songs out. And I would have lyrics and song ideas and bring them to him. It would just be 3 or 4 chords, G, C, D, and then next thing you know, he sniperizes it. The song's awesome. So he would do the same thing. He'd like have this awesome shred and riff. He's like, I need lyrics. And I'd be like, how am I going to figure out lyrics over all of this? I don't know. But I've realized that the songs that we write together are the best songs that the band comes out with. Sure. Yeah. And we would do the songs, especially on this new record, is we would do the songs and record them and then send them to Jimmy and be like, know these songs by the time we get to Chicago. And that was it. We don't rehearse. We don't do anything. Sure. Sure. We had been through, I mean, at the bare bones of why it is because we love that style of music, and that's what influenced us. And we knew that we had to be different. We knew we had to do something that was unique and completely ourselves. And I think, I don't think I know that when you're in front of an audience, if it's completely real and from the heart, the audience will latch on to that. If it's guys in wigs and they're not really believing it, the audience will be like, I like that song, but I don't believe what these guys are doing. So we kind of looked around and we're like, well, there are no glam rock bands anywhere. I mean, there are. They're here and there, but there are little pockets all over the United States. And we're like, we can do this. We can do this bigger and better and sleazier and nastier, and we just kind of call it hyper glam rock. Just over the top as you can possibly take it. We can do this and make it work because nobody else has the balls to do it. And that was really where it boils down to. And we've done shows with death metal bands, with punk rock bands, with wrestling, and everybody wants to party. And we figured it out. Like, everybody wants to be entertained. Everybody wants to have a good time. Nobody's doing it. We're going to be the guys that do it. And we're going to do it the best. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, like a normal show, especially we did a tour before COVID hit. It was the biggest tour that we got. Our dreams have come true. We're playing with the Choir Boys, 30 shows across the United States, and it kind of we were just thrilled, just beyond thrilled, playing big rooms with pretty decent crowds. And for that tour, it had become, the ritual was really cool. Is we would drive all night to the city, play the show, or like do the sound check at 3, play the show, and drive to the next city. Sleep on the bus in the parking lot at the venue. You didn't have time. We didn't have time to get. So your pre-show ritual kind of becomes like, it's not even an hour before the show. The pre-show starts at 2:00 when you wake up. You got to load. You're like, where are we at? We got to load all this gear in. You got to find dinner. You know, figure out how to find dinner in a strange city, and then usually about an hour before the show hits, it's like makeup time and getting dressed and ready to go and focusing your energy. And the makeup really is just us sitting in all in the same room or sitting on our bus, just cutting on each other. That's essentially an hour of us talking shit to each other as we put on our makeup and lipstick, just to kind of get in that frame of mind and make sure everything's cool. Everybody's on the same page. We're ready to roll. And they'll take the lights down and it's time to go. And on that tour, it was like you do 45 minutes, get off stage, tear everything down as fast as possible, and you had all night to just kind of hang out and look for trouble before we had to leave for the next city. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And much like you probably know this too. I think you got to recognize that adrenaline dump that you get, or that adrenaline that you're getting isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing, and that it can aid you in doing incredible stuff. And that's really what I think. Like, when we look out and see a huge crowd, I get so nervous, and I go, okay, I got to harness this energy and give it to these people that are in front of me, and bring everything, leave it all on that stage, so that I know 30 minutes later when I walk off, I won't remember a damn thing. And that's kind of the shame, is you don't really remember anything. But yes, nervous, absolutely. It's been tough, and you're reinventing everything right now. Every band is on the same level. Nobody knows when anything's going to open up, really. We have an idea, but we don't know for sure. So, before the pandemic, our tour model was let's go out 2 weeks. That's enough time to get to one of the coasts and back, or a destination, make a big circle around. We're going to tour 2 weeks, come home for 2 weeks, tour 2 weeks, and just do that and put an album out. With the pandemic, you know, we were on the tour of our lifetime, which got us hooked up with a good booking agency. So for all the bad that there was with us getting canceled, it was a good tour for us because it got us hooked up with our agency. And through our agency, we got hooked up through Pavement Music, a record label. So those are the good things that came out of being in the pandemic. Now we're just like, and the other good thing is we had time to write the record. You know, this new record that we're working on right now, we had time to actually sit down, write it, and take these songs and turn them into something that we're going to be proud of and be able to tour for the next year. And now we're just getting to the point where we're like, how are we going to tour? How's it going to happen? And it's kind of looking like shows are going to happen, festivals are going to happen, one-off dates here and there are going to happen for most of the year, and then we'll really large-scale touring will start back up next year, I think. Yeah, 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 yeah. Not yet. Not yet. It's still early, but I'll tell you this. I was thinking about this on the way over. We're at least 3/4 of the way done. We just got to record. Like we'll have one more session to record, and then it'll go off to mixing and mastering, and we'll put it on. I think we're gonna do vinyl this year for the vinyls and tapes and CDs. I think we're just gonna go and blow it out of the water and be like, this is our major label debut. Let's really make this something that is gonna stand out in people's mind. So we're up in Chicago recording with Chips Enough from Enough's Enough producing it is what's happening right now. Hmm. Yep. I work at a record shop here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we've seen it such an increase. The record store's only been open a year and a half. We've been open a year and a half, and we've seen this giant increase to the point where when I started working at the record shop, I don't know that I would have put a vinyl record out with the Midnight Devils. A year and a half later, I'm like, it's the only way we can put a record out. We have to put out vinyl. It has to be cool, splattered, colored, neon, really awesome. So yeah, I think it's coming back, and I think people are buying more records now. It's a cool medium, and it always was. And no, that's the tough part. Luckily, I have two cool jobs, and they both do with music. And I don't like wake up in the morning and go, so I hate my job, or I don't want to go to work. So I work at a record shop, which is essentially you go into work and you talk about Kiss records and you become a complete nerd about collecting. I have this huge collection. That's cool. I don't mind going there. The other job I have is I DJ. And that's just playing music and making people happy and being the host of a party. And that's really DJ at a strip club. That's really it. Like, so my jobs are easy. And when I think about it, it gives me the time that I need to work on band stuff or to work on lyrics or to really focus my attention. And I don't have to wear a uniform ever. It was a little bit of both, especially right when the pandemic hit. I was really hell bent on writing the whole record while everything was shut down. I go, this is the perfect time. This is like somebody telling me this is the time. You can't go out. You can't work. You can't do anything. You need to write this record. Cool. Boom, boom, boom. We got it done. Everything opened back up. And I'm like, I already have all the songs that in the back pocket. So now it's just all about getting this, recording them. And, yep, absolutely. Yep, because Sniper and I were in complete contact with each other going, we need to do this. We need to get these songs done. And we hired this is what we did, is we hired a fill-in drummer, one of our friends to record a demo with us so that we could have all the songs tracked and ready to go to send to Jimmy. That's how we got over the distance. Mm-hmm. We just met him, and this is the cool thing. We met who's going to be mixing and mastering, and it's a guy named Chris Diamonds out of Stonecutter Studios in Chicago. And so Chip told us, he's like, I got my guy. He's going to help us. He's going to mix it. It's going to sound fucking incredible, fucking fabulous. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. And I was like, yeah. Like, I've heard these things before. And then he says, Chris is going to do it. Chris Diamonds. And I look up his Wikipedia, and he's like, Chris Diamonds produced records, Kiss Revenge. I go, Kiss Revenge, their 1992 album. This guy's going to fucking be awesome. This is going to be the coolest thing ever. And we went in there and met Chris. We went into Stonecutter. It was 2 days ago we went in. And he's a fan like us. He loves Kiss. He loves Alice Cooper. And he thought it was cool that we were in a glam rock band that was doing this, and that he got to be a part of the project. It was really, like, I was kind of in shock. Like, it was another one of those moments where you, like, pinch me, is this really happening? So we decided that we're going to travel back and forth and kind of be a part of the mixing and just be in that studio and be in that environment and really immerse ourselves in getting the best sounding record we can. I don't know. I have no idea. We got very blessed in this instance where it was like we had been doing shows with Enough's Enough, and Chip was like, Jimmy must have brought it up, like, hey, we want to do this record, and he's like, I'll produce it, no problem. We'll put out a great rock and roll record. It's great. I was like, okay, I can't say no. Like, in my mind, like, I wouldn't say no to Chip recording. He's sold 1 million records. Like, he obviously knows what he's doing, and that's what I think you need to look for, as a guy that. Not necessarily as good, it doesn't matter the equipment or the location of the studio, but a guy that's going to bring out the best of your band and your songs. And that's what we talk about all the time, is like, don't really fight it. If it serves the song, that's a great idea. Chip's there as the fourth member of the Midnight Devils to make this an incredible record. His name's going to be on it, so he wants to be proud of it too, just like us. Yeah. You can expect, I mean, we're going to hang tight. We're still hanging tight, just like everybody else. I still think it's too early to go out and do the shows that we want to do. And that's been the whole thing, is like, we see bands going out and starting to play, but it's all still restricted and limited. And that doesn't work with the Midnight Devils. We're a party band with all your friends. It just doesn't work for us. And we're like, we'd rather stay here and save this up for you instead of going out on the road and not doing it right at all. So I think we'll be out. They just announced we'll be a part of the M3 Festival it's in Columbia. So I think we're doing the pre-show party for the M3 Festival in Columbia, Maryland. That's like the 4th of July weekend. Then we are hooking up with 2 other bands for a small Midwest tour. And then we go to Florida, and we're doing a couple shows in Florida with Yngwie Malmsteen. That's like the July. For some reason, July just popped up, and it's like, boom, you got all these shows, and they're all over the country. We are all over social media. It's very easy to find The Midnight Devils, Facebook.com, The Midnight Devils, Instagram, Twitter. All of it's The Midnight Devils, and we are on Amazon Music, Google Play, Apple iTunes. We're on all the streaming platforms. I tell people, like, you can listen to us on Spotify, but honestly, Spotify kind of sucks. because they don't pay their artists. So if you want to be that guy, go ahead and do it. We're on Spotify, but I would suggest you know, go somewhere else to listen to me. Somebody that pays artists fairly. Like when the new one, when it comes out. Yeah, yep. We have a website, themidnightdevils.com, that has all of our merchandise and all of our T-shirts and our album bundles, which is really cool. There's a couple left. We put out an EP before we put out something bigger. So there's a 5-song EP with different artwork, and it's taken this long, but we were finally almost sold out of these EPs, so they're going to become like a collector issue. I offer up, but if you have a dream, stop at nothing to do that dream. There's going to be 1,000 hurdles. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. But because you love it, it's not going to seem like work. It's going to seem like this is part of the dues that you have to pay to get there. No, like I said, nobody's going to give you anything for free. So don't go out there expecting to get stuff without doing the hard work for it. It sucks. And that's the work. The other thing is that you have to do it from the heart. It has to be a real thing, or else the crowd's not going to buy it. If it's real, if it's from the heart, the crowd will eat it up. They want you to succeed. When a crowd watches you perform, they want you to succeed. And that's exactly what if it's a give and take between you and the crowd, there's no limit to where you can take it. And so it's like, we grew up playing punk rock music, Jimmy and I, and Sniper, you know, he was playing 5-6 nights a week on the road with bands through the 80s. He paid his dues. Jimmy and I, we learned how to do all this stuff because we failed at it the first time. So, like, expect a lot of failure and a lot of learning, but eventually you can get there. Yeah.